You know, you might not even realize it, but there's a silent war being waged inside your home every single day. And it's a struggle that hits you right where it counts: your comfort, your energy bills, and honestly, your peace of mind. Let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on.
Think about it for a second. Have you ever noticed those weird spikes in your energy bill? Or that one room in the house that's always, just a little too hot or too cold? Well, those aren't just random little quirks. They're actually signs of a much bigger struggle. So let me ask you, is your home's comfort under constant attack? For a lot of us, the answer is a definite yes.
And in this fight, you've got one main defender. It's not your alarm system, it's not the lock on your front door. It is the silent guardian working tirelessly day in and day out, your HVAC system. It's really the unsung hero that's fighting to keep your home feeling just right.
Now, to really understand this fight, we've got to go right to the front lines. So for this explainer, we're going to zoom in on a very specific battlefield, Gastonia, North Carolina. And what happens here, well, it tells a story that reveals the universal challenges your own system could be facing right now.
See, in a place like Gastonia, the HVAC system is fighting a war on two fronts. From about May to September, you've got this brutal summer assault. We're talking temperatures in the 90s with humidity so punishing it feels like 100 degrees. Then, boom, the winter siege begins, with these sudden, sharp freezes dipping into the 20s. This constant back and forth puts an incredible amount of stress on the entire system.
And here's the thing, this relentless, year-round demand isn't just making your system work hard, it's actively accelerating the wear and tear on its most critical parts. I mean the compressor, the blower motor, all the components that are absolutely essential for keeping you comfortable.
But believe it or not, the climate? That's just the beginning. The real enemies are often the ones you can't even see, and they're totally unique to the local environment. In Gastonia, we're talking about attackers coming from both the ground and the air.
Okay, so check this out. Gastonia has these two very specific hidden threats. First, the ground itself is working against you. The region's red clay soil expands when it's wet and shrinks when it's dry. This constant, subtle movement puts a ton of stress on the outdoor HVAC unit, which can cause these tiny, but devastating, leaks in the refrigerant lines. And at the same time, you've got this full-on assault from the air. A heavy pollen count from oak, pine, and grass literally coats the outdoor unit, basically choking it.
And the impact of all that pollen is, well, it's staggering. A clogged coil just can't release heat the way it's supposed to. Think of it like your system is trying to breathe through a thick, dusty mask. It has to work so much harder just to do its job, and that strain can slash its efficiency by up to 30%. That is a huge drain on your system and, of course, on your wallet.
So you've got these external attackers, the climate, the soil, the pollen, all waging this war on your system. But how do you actually know if you're losing the battle? Well, your system sends out distress signals. Let's decode its SOS.
These right here are the symptoms. Weak airflow from your vents, suddenly high energy bills, warm air blowing when the AC should be on, weird noises, or maybe your system turns on and off constantly. That's what we call short cycling. These aren't just little quirks. They are direct messages from your HVAC unit telling you that it is under serious strain.
So, let me ask you directly, do any of these sound familiar? Ringing any bells? If they do, it's so important to recognize them for what they really are. This is your system's cry for help, a clear sign that this hidden battle is really taking a toll.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. Now, what about the solution? How do you actually fight back? Well, a smart defense always starts with a smart strategy.
Let's start with a really great rule of thumb for one of the biggest decisions you'll ever have to make. Should you repair your system, or is it time to replace it? It's called the $5,000 rule. It's super simple. You just multiply the age of your system, in years, by the estimated cost of the repair. If that number goes over $5,000, replacement is usually the smarter financial move. So, for example, a 12-year-old unit that needs a $500 repair, that comes out to $6,000. It's probably time to start thinking about a new system.
But look, knowing when to act is critical. But what happens next is just as important. What should a good, straightforward, totally transparent service call actually look like?
It should really be a simple, three-step process that keeps you in the driver's seat. First, you schedule the call and help get sent out. Second, the technician finds the root cause, not just the symptom, and gives you a firm upfront price for your approval. No work should ever start without that. And third, they do the repair and then they verify that the entire system is running exactly like it should. This whole process just removes all the guesswork and, those nasty surprise fees.
All right, so as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it all together. We've talked about the climate, the invisible attackers, the warning signs, and the defense plan. What's the one big lesson that ties all of this together?
This quote right here, it really says it all. The battle for your home's comfort isn't generic, it's local. Knowing about the specific type of clay soil that can mess with a foundation, or the exact kind of pollen that clogs up coils in your area, that's not just trivia. That is critical intelligence for winning this war.
And that is the crucial takeaway. It doesn't matter if you live in Gastonia or anywhere else on the planet. Understanding the unique environmental challenges your home faces, the specific climate, the soil, the air quality, that is the absolute key to maintaining your comfort, protecting your investment, and ultimately winning this hidden battle.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've talked about, what unseen forces, the unique climate, the specific local environment, are at war with your home's comfort right now? Because knowing the answer, that's your first step toward victory.